So I'm back, and this time I'll be talking about the actually two-pack, two figures for the price of one, the Guardians of the Universe, Ganthet and one of the nameless Guardians. Well, let's start with the nameless Guardian, the little blue guy. You notice that he's got this big solid robe over most of his body. Well, it's a nice plastic or rubbery plastic. Underneath, he can't really see it, but he does have the standard DC Direct articulation. Hip and knee, it's very much limited by the shape of the robe. He's a Guardian, so you're not going to have him in very much action poses. Sleeves, from the little bicep, you can just see where the materials change, has that same soft rubbery plastic too, and he does have an elbow bend, but again, the plastic, even though it does give some, it does not give all the way. So you're, again, very limited to poses. Basically, they're straight and as far as you can bend it. Now, the arm does move in and out, and a little tough forward and back. Same thing with the other arm. His hands do swivel, so that's good, and it's a very nice sculpt, I think. Just pick it out, but they have green eyes. You can tell they're imbued with the power of the Green Lantern. Their appearance is partly based on the Israeli Prime Minister in the 60s, David Ben-Gurion. Look him up on Wikipedia and compare his hairstyle to the Guardian's hairstyle, and you'll see what I'm talking about. He comes with a base, and as does Ganthet. Ganthet is just the same exact mold, except for the head. You notice he's sporting the widow's peak, and a slightly different face mold. So you can see the two of them together. The Guardians first appear in Green Lantern Volume 2, Number 1, in 1960. And the Guardians come from a species that evolved on the planet Maltus. One of their species, millions and millions of years ago, it got curious about the beginning of time and sought to actually go back in time and witness creation. Well, this scientist called Corona, he went back, and this resulted in the creation of both the multiverse and the antimatter universe. So that was a big no-no from then on, because the Guardians didn't want time or the universe to be screwed up anymore. However, that didn't stop them from interfering and wanting to, for the betterment of all, but still interfering. Some of the stuff they did that would have implications later on. They imprisoned the Empire of Tears on Yzmalt, which resulted later on in the creation of the Red Lanterns, the death of Abin Sur and Herald in Blackest Night, the prophecy of Blackest Night, They created the Star Heart, which would become the object that powered the Alan Scott Green Lantern. They actually split the Martian race into the three races. Yes, that's right, three races. The white, the green, and the yellow Martians. And of course, they created the Manhunter robots, which was such a rousing success that they had to then basically mothball them and create the Green Lantern Corps. They also made a treaty with the Spider Guild to stay out of the Vega system, making the Omega Men the lone protectors of that system. Now, there are lots of offshoots of the Guardians or Moltons, and they would be the controllers who would be behind the Dark Stars, the Zamarons, who were the female Owens, and they were responsible for the Star Sapphire and the Star Sapphire Corps, or whatever. As I said, most of them are nameless people, very much like a hive mind almost. But a few have taken names. Chief among them would be Ganthet, who has always been a more grounded character, much closer to the Lanterns than the other Guardians are, particularly the Earth Lanterns. And he's actually the only survivor of the Hal Jordan / Parallax rampage. And he's also part of what's called the Quintessence, which pops up in storylines from time to time. And they're a group of very powerful beings that overwatch humanity. And it's being Shazam the Wizard, Zeus, the head of the Greek gods, Highfather from New Genesis, and Phantom Stranger. There was Appa Aliapsa, who actually joined Hal Jordan and Green Arrow on their little cross-country adventure to learn the ways of Earth creatures. He has a sad story in that he ends up going nuts and creating the Mosaic world on Oa before dying. Two female ones that we know their names, and that's Sade, who is Ganthet's companion, and along with him starts the Blue Lantern Corps. And then there's Scar, who was scarred by the Anti-Monitor, and then became a disciple of Necron, and is part of the whole Black Lantern. Appeared in almost every single iteration of Green Lantern on the airwaves. The 60s cartoon, the Superman animated series cartoon, Justice League Unlimited, Batman the Brave and the Bold. They're in New Frontier. They're in, of course, Green Lantern First Flight. So, of course they're there because these guys are the core, if you will, of the core. They're a nice little addition to your Green Lantern collection. And they're probably fairly available, as they're looked over in favor of the other figures.